The night was electric in Washington, D.C., as the prestigious Kennedy Center honors took an unexpected turn, one that would echo across political circles, Hollywood studios, and late-night television. At the center of it all stood Donald Trump, stepping confidently onto the stage as the host of the 2026 ceremony, a role traditionally filled by beloved entertainers, not sitting presidents. But this year was already historic before it even began, because Trump didn't simply host the ceremony, he completely took it over. From selecting honorees to reshaping the tone of the evening, he molded the event into something entirely his own. And in true Trump fashion, he arrived ready with jokes, jabs, and pointed shots fired directly at one of his favorite critics, late-night host Jimmy Kimmel. Trump walked into the Kennedy Center, brimming with confidence, smiling for cameras, and greeting supporters as if he were greeting fans at a rally. Reporters quickly pressed him about how he prepared to host such an iconic American ceremony. Trump smirked and delivered a line that immediately set social media ablaze. He referenced legendary entertainers like Johnny Carson and Bob Hope, calling them the greats. But then his tone shifted as he took aim at Kimmel, who has criticized him for years. If you look at the not-so-greats, like Jimmy Kimmel, who was just terrible, Trump said, raising his eyebrows dramatically. I've watched some of the people that host, and Jimmy Kimmel was horrible. The crowd around him gasped, some laughed, and the media microphones simply couldn't get close enough. It was classic Trump, unfiltered, unapologetic, and ready to stir controversy. But Trump wasn't done. Inside the Oval Office the day before the event, he doubled down again while speaking to gathered press, asserting, "If I can't beat out Jimmy Kimmel in terms of talent, then I don't think I should be president." It was a line that instantly became headline material, a mix of bravado and the kind of theatrics that Trump has mastered over the years. This new round of insults wasn't just another chapter in the long-running feud. It was a public spectacle unfolding at one of America's most respected cultural institutions. What made all of this even more dramatic was what happened the very next morning. While Trump was still celebrating his big night, Hollywood delivered a surprise twist of its own. ABC, the network behind Jimmy Kimmel Live, announced that Kimmel had officially been renewed. Despite pressure behind the scenes, despite controversy, despite Trump and his FCC chair criticizing him publicly, the comedian secured a brand new deal extending his stay through 2027. The timing felt undeniably cinematic. Trump mocked Kimmel on stage, and mere hours later, Kimmel scored one of the biggest professional wins of his year. This renewal came after a turbulent period for the late-night star. Earlier in the year, Kimmel faced a 6-day suspension from ABC after controversial remarks he made about slain activist Charlie Kirk. The suspension sparked political debate, online outrage, and calls for Kimmel's termination. Yet, the network ultimately decided that his talent and ratings were too valuable to lose. As Trump tried to frame him as a failing comedian, Hollywood responded by stamping Kimmel's contract for another year, reinforcing his place in the late-night landscape until May 2027. Back on the red carpet at the Kennedy Center Honors, another surprising moment unfolded when legendary action icon Sylvester Stallone, known globally as the face of characters like Rocky Balboa and John Rambo, made his entrance holding a cane. Fans immediately grew concerned. At 79, Stallone has long spoken openly about the physical toll of his decades of intense stunt work. He once described how he looks at old action scenes and recalls in vivid detail the injuries behind them. "Oh, that hurt. Yes, I went to the hospital for that one. That was 2 hematomas, 4 stitches there." While the exact reason for the cane was not confirmed, it was a quiet reminder that even the toughest Hollywood heroes carry years of scars beneath their tailored suits. But even Stallone, stumbling slightly on the carpet, managed to slip into the evening's political whirlwind. At one point, he accidentally referred to the event as the Trump Kennedy Center, then corrected himself with a chuckle, acknowledging how deeply Trump's presence had become intertwined with this year's ceremony. After all, this wasn't just any Kennedy Center honors. This was a Trump-designed version, complete with an honoree list chosen with precision, intention, and unmistakable statements. For the first time in the history of the ceremony, the president took personal control over selecting the honorees. Trump claimed he was 98% involved, stating proudly that they all went through me. His reasoning was simple and blunt. Some artists were too woke, he said. I turned down plenty. I had a couple of wokesters. It was a bold declaration, hinting at culture war tensions and signaling what kind of artistic voices he believed deserved the spotlight. Among the honorees Trump personally approved were Broadway legend Michael Crawford, forever remembered as the original Phantom in The Phantom of the Opera, the 3 surviving members of iconic rock band Kiss, country superstar George Strait, often called the King of Country, and disco trailblazer Gloria Gaynor, whose anthem, I Will Survive, remains a global symbol of strength. It was a lineup designed to appeal to nostalgia, middle America fandom, and the more traditional sectors of the IHOLA entertainment world, exactly the demographic base that has supported Trump for years. But one name was notoriously missing from the guest list: Tom Cruise. According to reporting from the Washington Post, Trump had personally reached out to Cruise with an offer to honor him at the ceremony. But the superstar reportedly declined, citing scheduling conflicts and a busy press schedule. Whether it was truly scheduling or a desire to steer clear of political headlines, Cruise's absence quickly became a story of its own. In Hollywood, even silence speaks loudly. Despite the tension, political undercurrents, and celebrity drama, the 48th Kennedy Center Honors promised to draw massive viewership. When it aired December 23rd on CBS and streamed on Paramount+. This year's event wasn't just a celebration of artistic excellence. It was a snapshot of America's cultural divide, captured in prime time. Viewers tuning in weren't just expecting performances. They were expecting sparks, shade, and more headline-worthy moments. Trump closed the evening with a dramatic flourish, declaring, "The American dream is not only alive, but alive and well." The line was met with applause, flashes from cameras, and a mix of admiration and criticism online. Social media buzzed with debates about whether Trump's involvement revived the ceremony or politicized it beyond recognition. Hollywood insiders whispered about what the night meant for future honorees. Networks wondered how much bigger the ratings would spike, and late-night comics sharpened their monologues in anticipation. Meanwhile, Jimmy Kimmel, sitting miles away from Washington, had his own reasons to smile. Despite the stinging insults from the president, he had secured his future on ABC, extended his influence on late-night television, and essentially outlasted the political pressure that tried to silence him. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. The man Trump mocked repeatedly received a renewed contract the same weekend Trump tried to frame him as talentless. The entire saga of the 2026 Kennedy Center Honors, from Trump's takeover to Kimmel's renewal, from Stallone's cane to Cruise's absence, captured something deeper than entertainment news. It represented the collision of politics, celebrity culture, media influence, and America's ongoing culture wars. It showed how one event meant to celebrate artistic unity became the newest battleground for clashing ideologies. And as the nation looked ahead to the televised ceremony, one thing was crystal clear. This year's Kennedy Center Honors would be remembered not only for its performers and honorees, but for the seismic narrative that unfolded around it, one shaped by Trump's bold stage presence, Kimmel's quiet victory, and the ever-evolving relationship between Hollywood and Washington.